you seen the series shows on Netflix called La Casa de Papel or Narcos? How about the movie The Great Heist? Imagine having such a large sum of money in your hands. You'd be able to purchase anything, anywhere. Some people are fortunate enough to be born wealthy, while others have the opportunity to become instantly rich by winning the lottery. However, some people will go beyond imagination by robbing a bank, a tried and true method used by people who have the fantasy of never having to work again. Indeed, it's considered the most drastic approach, and the only way it will work is if you can avoid being caught. However, a significant number of thieves do end up spending their whole life in prison. Here's the list of the 10 largest bank robberies ever recorded, and we'll tell you how much they've stolen. At number 10, the Dunbar Armored Robbery. Stolen $18.9 million. In 1997, 6 individuals carried out what's considered the most successful cash theft in the annals of United States history. Alan Pace was in charge, and it turned out he was the absolute worst safety inspector the Dunbar Armored Trucker Company had ever hired. Pace recruited 5 pals from his youth to assist him in robbing the vault at the Dunbar facility in Los Angeles. He timed the security cameras at the facility so that he could dodge them. They broke in, attacked 2 guards while eating lunch, and loaded $18.9 million worth. They were so close to getting away with it, but when one of the thieves made a careless mistake and gave some of the stolen money to a friend without first removing the currency straps that were attached to it. Coming in at number 9, the United California Bank Heist. Stolen $30 million. Emil Dincio, a career criminal originally from Ohio, put together a heist crew of 6 individuals and transported them to California in the year 1972. They rented a townhouse and made plans to commit a robbery at a bank because they incorrectly believed that President Richard Nixon had a slush fund there worth multiple millions of dollars. The group blew their way into the vault using explosives, made off with cash and jewels worth $30 million, and then hurried out of the townhouse after giving it a thorough cleaning. The police eventually identified the criminals thanks to an important tip they provided to a taxi driver. Also, the police retrieved the suspect's fingerprints inside the dishwasher in the townhouse. Number 8. The British Bank of the Middle East Robbery. Stolen $20 million to $50 million. In 1976, while Lebanon was amidst a civil war, several robbers decided to cash in on the turmoil and make the most of their opportunity. The crew carried off one of the most audacious thefts in history when they blew a hole in a Catholic church's wall using explosives to access the British Bank of the Middle East, which was located nearby. They are prepared to break into the vault, bringing experienced locksmiths along with them. The thieves were able to make off with $44.5 million worth of assets, including cash, stocks, gold bars, diamonds, and other valuables. There was no success in recovering any stolen property and nobody was in custody. The stolen items are worth more than 3 times today. Number 7 on the list, we have the Northern Bank Robbery, stolen $41 million. In the week leading up to Christmas in 2004, thieves in Belfast, Northern Ireland disguised themselves as police officers and broke into the residences of 2 bank managers. The managers reported reporting to the work the next day, even though their families were being held as hostages. The bank managers let the robbers in at the end of the working day. Throughout the largest bank heist in the history of Ireland, the robbers made off with around 26.5 million British pounds, along with other international currencies. The crime has not yet been solved, and only 1 arrest has been made so far, which was for money laundering. Now at number 6, the BRINK'S-MAT burglary, stolen $41 million. Insiders carried out the most notable bank robbery that ever occurred in Britain. Anthony Black, a security officer for BRINK'S-MAT, opened the door for a band of thieves to enter the company's warehouse at Heathrow Airport in London on the morning of the theft that took place in 1983. They bound up additional guards. The crew rapidly became aware that the warehouse contained not just a significant amount of money, but also gold and jewels. They got away with $41 million worth of loot and wished the guards a happy Christmas on their way out of the compound. Most of the robbers were caught, but some of the gold is still missing. Number 5. The BANCO Central burglary, stolen $71.6 million. The 2005 break-in at BANCO Central in Fortaleza, Brazil was once listed in the Guinness Book of World Records as the biggest bank robbery ever. A group of 25 criminals set up a fake landscaping business to pull it off. They spent 3 months digging a 256-foot tunnel that went through the floor of the bank's vault and led up through the ceiling. Once inside, they stole several containers with 160 million Brazilian real, $71.6 million in 2005 dollars. Only 8 people were arrested and only 20 million real were recovered. In the 4th spot, we have the Securitas depot robbery, stolen $83 million. In 2006, the biggest cash theft in British history happened at the warehouse of a security company services in Kent. In order to get ready, a spy took pictures of the inside of the Securitas depot. Then, people wearing elaborate masks took the branch manager hostage and held his family as hostages. The thieves took him to the warehouse and forced him to open the cash cages for them. About $83 million was stolen by the group. Some of the thieves were caught despite their clever disguises, and the makeup artist who made their masks was a key witness in the case. Before proceeding with the 3rd spot, please do not forget to click the subscribe button so you won't miss any uploads like this one. Give this video a like and share it as well. Thanks. Now, let's get back into the video. At number 3, we have the KNIGHTSBRIDGE security deposit robbery, stolen $97 million. Valerio Vize, who was already wanted for more than 50 armed robberies in Italy, came very close to committing the perfect crime in London in 1987. The crime would have been the theft of a very expensive painting. He and an assistant went to a bank and asked if there were any safe deposit boxes for rent. When the men were showed to the vault, they pulled out their weapons and easily beat the bank manager and the security guards. After putting a sign on the door of the bank saying it was closed, they invited some friends inside, broke into as many safe deposits boxes as they could, and then left with millions of dollars in cash, among other things. Vize escaped capture by going to South America, but he was eventually caught when he returned to England to have his Ferrari sent to his new home in South America. At number 2, the Dar es Salaam bank heist, stolen $282 million. In 2007, a robbery happened at the Dar es Salaam Bank, a private bank in Baghdad, Iraq. There isn't much information that investigators can use to figure out what happened. It's unclear why the bank's vault was broken into, and so much cash in US dollars was taken. People think that more than one bank security guard was involved in the heist. The government suspected that the criminals knew people in the local police and militias, which let them get through any of Baghdad's many checkpoints without being seen. No new information has been given out about where the money is or who did this. Now, the biggest and considered as the top one in the entire world history, we have the Central Bank of Iraq robbery, stolen over $920 million. The most successful bank heist in banking history occurred at another bank in Baghdad. Saddam Hussein, the leader of Iraq, was the one who came up with the idea. In 2003, the day before the Iraq War started, he sent 3 huge trucks to the central bank. He sent his son Qasem with a note and told him to take out more than $1 billion to keep it from getting into the hands of enemies. The money was moved in vans, and then it was taken away. Most of the money was found during the raids that followed, but this is not the end of the story. Even though American soldiers were supposed to be counting the illegal loot, they still stole hundreds of thousands of dollars for themselves and their families. During the investigation, 35 service members were caught. Well, there you have it. What do you think was the most unimaginable robbery on the list? Let us know your thoughts about this video in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on our next top 10 list.